It's on.
Hello, my name is Ian Warner, and what I'm going to be talking about today is leadership consultants, the problems and solutions when it comes to leadership. Now, what is a leadership consultant? Well, a leadership consultant is somebody who instructs the workforce, or the leaders of the workforce, how to do their job and to lead properly. It's been well said that where there is no instruction in the workforce, there is absolutely no progress and no achieving your goals. The job of a leader is vitally important. However, it can be one of the most difficult jobs that anyone in the workforce can do. The three main points that I would like to cover with the problems that accompany leadership are accountability, setting goals, and career development. I will explore these problems in much more depth, as well as giving the very simple solutions to these problems. I hope your company will find that these solutions are indeed profitable when it comes to helping and managing problems whenever it comes to leadership. The problems in leadership. The three main problems that leaders face. Starting off with accountability. Accountability is one of the most vitally important jobs for a leader to do. To keep his team accountable while they do their work and making sure they get the job done with excellence to achieve their goals. However, it is one of the most difficult jobs of a leader. And the reason is because, according to Victor Lipman, accountability requires conflict. Too often in the workforce today, leaders do not want to be looked at as the quote-unquote bad guy when it comes to setting accountability, setting standards for their team to meet. Because if accountability happens, conflict between the leader and the employee starts to begin, and with that comes the ability to cause the leader to look like a bad guy, and leaders don't want that. A lack of accountability, however, results in slack work, jobs not being accomplished, and very much just confusion in the workforce. Firm accountability often invokes conflict, and for many people, conflict is unpleasant and difficult. Victor Lipman. Setting goals is the second problem whenever it comes to leadership. However, establishing goals is one of the most crucial elements of being a leader. Why? Because without goals, you have no chief end to your business. You have no means of, this is what we have to get done to accomplish our task. Why are goals so difficult to create, though? Well, because goals are easily misunderstood because basically objective commands from the leader to the employees to do can be looked at from the employees as more or less subjective, unclear, subject to interpretation. In other words, optional, whether they want to do this job or not. And without any goal, there can be confusion and no progress in your workforce. Goals should be aggressive and challenging, while remaining realistic. Otherwise, your employees will feel that trying is pointless. Tom Ryan. Career development. Career development challenges managers for the reason of it makes managers invest time and invest caring into their employees. It's basically wanting to see your employees succeed in the workforce. However, it is the most frequently neglected job of a leader. From a manager's standpoint, taking a genuine interest in employees' professional growth sends a powerful and positive message. Victor Lipman. Now, the solutions to these problems. First off, we must understand what is a leader or manager. Well, first off, a leader must be selfless. They must lead selflessly, not focusing on their own agendas, not focusing on themselves, but rather the company, the main goal, and their employees. They must treat their employees as friends and colleagues, rather than simply employees that they look down on and manage. But they must also manage with authority and firm accountability, keeping their employees on the job with excellence. Now, how do you identify the issues that I just went over? Well, there's three ways. Number one, when it comes to accountability, you notice that employees begin to take slack, or they begin to do shortcuts in their work, not accomplishing their jobs whatsoever, or very simply doing it with very little care to their job. How can you identify a lack of clear-cut goals? Well, employees can be confused, uncoordinated when it comes to their job. uncoordinated and thinking, well, what's the point? There's no real cheap end because there hasn't been a clear set goal. For career development, employees simply think that you're their boss rather than you're the person that wants them to succeed in this workforce. That's the big key when it comes to finding out if you have a problem with career development. Now, the solutions to these problems. The solution to accountability is relatively simple. It's basically a leader must accept his job requirement. And what's the job requirement of a leader? Well, the main job of a leader is accountability and keeping his workforce in check when they do their jobs. He must be willing to get this job done, and if he is not willing to complete this job of accountability and keeping his workforce accountable, then it may be the time for him to get a new profession. Solution to setting goals. Well, be sure the goals are objective rather than subjective and clear-cut, black and white, as clear-cut as possible for your goals to be successful. Start with a verb, instructing your employees, then tell them how specifically to do it. Then explain the conditions for doing the job. Tom Ryan. The solutions to career development. Establish friendships with your employee, not merely treating them as employees, but rather as colleagues and friends. And cultivate a desire to want your employees to succeed in the workforce. And be a leader, not a boss. Simply make it your priority and carve out time for you and your employees to go over their goals. Victor Lipman. In conclusion, what I would like to leave you with is this call to action to make sure accountability is done in your workforce, to make sure that your leaders of your companies are indeed using accountability and accepting their job requirements of accountability. Making sure that your leaders and managers are setting clear-cut, black and white goals with objective jobs rather than subjective jobs. And make sure that your leaders are also using career development, because it is awfully neglected, but it should be the #1 priority for leaders. And this is my works cited page with every article and every businessman that I have used in this presentation. Thank you.